Hello, and welcome to Genius Genii. Today, I wanted to make a very informal video down in my music studio to talk to you about everything that you need to do in one go to have the career of your dreams. And as you can see, my beautiful bouvier dog here, Aslan, who is extremely musical and likes to sing, has decided to join in on the video and has knocked my screen here, which was actually for you guys as part of the talk. So normally this talk I would do in front of lots of people, and there are no people here, it's just you and me because of COVID-19, and so we will stay safe and healthy, and just I'll have to laugh at my own jokes because there's no one else here. I always laugh at my own jokes anyway. It's a sign of a bad comic. Okay. So, we're going to start with everything. So, you might need to take notes. Can't do the question and answer thing live. We will do in the future, but for this particular video, we're not doing one. But you can send me questions and I'll give you answers online. Okay, so welcome to Genius Genii, as I said. I'm going to talk to you about the three main areas which we need to you need to address, and we'll do it together, to have the career of your dreams. There are three, and only three areas. So, we don't need that, but I put a little picture here saying no music, no life, which I thought was lovely. So, the first thing we need to talk about is your music. So, you're going to make sure the music is the best that it can be, the best that you think it can be. So, not what anyone else thinks, it's what you feel inside, what you know in your heart that you will love the music. If you do not love the music that you are singing on stage or in a theatre or in showcases, in bars, in clubs, in pubs, we are, as the consumer, we're not going to believe you, and we're not going to like it either. So you have to dig deep and know that that product is what you want to sell, and if it isn't, do not sell it. Go back to the drawing board or go to a different producer or whatever it is you want to do. So in order to make your music the best that it has to be, I mean the music in terms of your playing and your singing and your performance and your writing. So if you have written it, or if you are performing it. So the best that your specific skill set is, or skill sets are, they must be the best that they can be at that given time. And what I mean by that is not better or worse than anybody else, but what you consider is your best. Okay, so, because at the end of the day, you know, you're the one standing on stage, nobody else is. So it's on you, and it's your responsibility. So there are lots of videos online from me and from many other people to help you make your music and your songwriting the best that it can be for you. So work hard at your skills, make yourself amazing, and then we move on to step B. So, oh yes, I just actually put here a quote from someone talking about Billie Eilish. She may be completely clueless about other things, but oh my God, she wants the lights and the music and her clothes a certain way. I rest my case. So, yes, that is another thing actually. Don't sit in your basement with, oh, have I got the right song? I don't know if it's good enough, and oh, this, that, and the other. You just have to know that, well, you'll know. You'll know. Don't be shy about it. When it's ready, it is ready. And that, my friends, is where we go on to B. So B is, that was A, being music. And B is the career side of things. So before we step into B, what I want you to do is list your goals. Now, every motivational speaker in the world has probably asked you to list goals. And there is a reason for it, as there always is with only thing that is done a lot. Well, not always. If there are any exceptions to this, you can tell me. So, yeah, write your goals down. 5 years from now, where you want to be, a year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 1 week, what you want to do in the next week, what you want to do in the next month, what you want to do in the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, and 5 years. And the important thing about writing these goals is I believe you should write them down in your own hand on an old-fashioned piece of paper and a pen, because then when you're reading them back and when you're thinking of them and when you're writing them, it's come from you. It's actually you, and your emotions come out on the page, and it's just more real. So I will encourage you to actually be the one to write the goals by hand. Yeah. Okay. So here we are. It's a picture of you. It's waiting for you. The space here waiting for you. I hope you can all see this. Well, I'm sure you'll let me know if you can't. Right. We're moving on now. We're moving to the binder. So the binder is, I call it the binder. You can have it as a, in a real sense, a binder where you go to Staples, for example, and you buy yourself a binder, and you have tabs, and you go down the side and you keep this binder up to date. Or you can put it on your computer. I actually would advise both. Just because I have a fear of losing things like on a binder, or then, oh, I've got it on the computer, or the computer crashes, oh, I've got it on the binder. Anyway, right, so, the binder! Ooh, yes, very, very exciting. No, oh God, I'm going to laugh at my own jokes. It's not all that exciting. Okay, it will be exciting for you in a way, because it is going to be something that is yours and totally yours, and also yours to go through your whole career with updating and adding and taking out and changing, and it will be like your Bible, and it's very personal and it's very private, and it's something that you should be working on a daily basis, and reassessing your values and the information that you have put in it. Will it be boring at times? Yes, it will. Will it feel like the most uninspirational thing in the whole wide world? Yes, if you're doing it properly. I'm laughing at my own joke. Okay, so I want you to think of the binder as your route into the music industry. It is part of your job. You want to be a musician, you have a job to do, and it is the part of the job that most musicians hate, because most musicians are not very good at self-promotion. We like the writing of the songs, and we like the singing our own music, and maybe we like dressing up and going out and performing. We love that buzz of the live audience. We love the recording. Oh yes, that's so great. But the whole thing that you need to be able to master is the thing that most musicians do not like to do. Self-promotion, networking, online promotion, and contacting people, and all of those kinds of things. But please know, if you were doing any other job other than music, do you think there would be parts to those jobs that you would not like, but still do because you're being paid to do it? Now, the difficulty is with the binder, you're not yet being paid to do it. Or if you are being paid to do it, it's not enough. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here watching this. So, maybe you're at a mid-level of your career, and you think, oh, I don't understand why I'm not getting further. I've had this, I've had that, I've done this, I've done that, and I'm still sitting here. And I would say to you, yes, that's because either part A or part B or part C, one of those is not right, or you're not doing all three. So part A, go back and look at that, and now we're on part B, the binder. So I'll stop waffling. The binder. The binder is something that you will learn to love. Let me phrase it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through everything that you need to have in your binder, and there will be other things that maybe I've forgotten or missed, or maybe you want to add in, that's personal. All good. So there are nearly 40 tabs for the binder, and I'm going to go through not each one today because you'd probably want to cry by the end of it, and so would I. So I shall tell you what all the different points are, and then I'll go in on a few of them, and then I will upload certain videos onto either my YouTube channel or my Facebook or my website, or all of them, so that you can pick out the ones you want to work on at that particular moment. So basically it's a research, the binder is your research tool. Well, it's not your research tool, it'll be the internet or talking, but it would be where you put all the information, so it's like a database of information. We're going to start, I will start one. The first one is me. So me, here, maybe able to can see those a little better if I hold them maybe a little closer. So I'm going to read them out anyway, but so we'll start with me. Very, very important, and it's not me, by the way. Oh, Aslan. It's you. You. What do you think of yourself as a musician, as in not what you think of your ability, but whether you're, which genre you are, whether you're, so let's take an example, that's the easiest thing. Let's take Adele. So she's adult, contemporary, ballads, pop, and her image is one of approachability. She's very down to earth. She wears normal clothing, not like Lady Gaga at times, and she has her own image, so we could take Lady Gaga. She's pop, mainstream pop, fantastic strong imagery, singer-songwriter like Adele. You're going to put under me, you're going to put down, you could re-emphasize your goals, you could write them out and put them in under me. Then you're going to put down what genre you are and the types of people who you would appeal to. So what part people in society age 10 to 18 or 35 to 50 or maybe 18 to 80. Someone like Adele, John Mayer, they have a huge age group and a cross section of society going. If you go to any of their gigs, you'll see everybody there. Okay, and I would actually pick somebody. So say you live in England, let's say you live in America and you want to make it like Lady Gaga did. Get hold of Lady Gaga on her biography and whatever information you can get online about her, about how she started, about what she did. And so, for example, that would cut and paste if you were doing your binder online, or you would print it out and stick it in your binder if you're doing the hard copy. And have a look and see parallels, like you might put some images of her clothes if you're wanting to go in that route, and then put, this works for Lady Gaga because A, B and C, this would not work for me because A, B and C, however this would work for me and Y, and so you're really getting a clear idea in your mind of what it is you're trying to do, because your public want a brand, whether you like that or whether you don't, that is a fact. We want to be able to see you in a certain way, and if that way is blurred or unclear to you, it certainly is going to be to us. So that's me. Band, that's number 2. your band. Maybe you don't want a band. Maybe you want to be like Adele and have your own sound. Or let's take, not Adele, let's take Bruce Springsteen. He's Bruce Springsteen, but he actually has used the same band members that he used right back from the beginning, which I think is awesome. And if you are going to have a band though, maybe it's the Dave Matthews Band. You have a band, you have the same people in your band. What's the look? What look are you going to have? Are you all going to be dressed the same? Is the lead singing going to be different from everybody else? And also, are you going to have an intra-band contract whereby, because if you don't have a contract, contracts are a huge subject, but it's all to do with copyright and people not getting upset, no confusion. Everything's clear right from the start. There is nothing worse than a band that's amazing splitting up because of misconceptions, lack of clarity, trust, and it happens so frequently. Even though you might be just starting out, what is wrong with having an intra-band contract? Nothing. If you're serious about it, even if you're just starting off, you need to get one. You need to get an intra-band contract, and you can get one online and customize it to yourself. I would recommend, of course, going to a lawyer, which is on one of your in the binder. Always, before you sign anything, please go to a lawyer. I know it's expensive, and I know that, but it could save you so much grief and money down the road. So, if you do have to see a lawyer, make sure you've got every single thing you want to ask them written down so that when you go in there you can just say it as quickly as possible and keep the fees down. Okay, sorry, so that's band. Next thing is repertoire. I actually am going to talk about repertoire just very quickly. Repertoire is a very important thing to have written down. So let's say, for example, you have to go and see a lawyer and someone offers you a gig for $1,000. And the reason why it's $1,000 is because it's tomorrow. And you're like, oh, okay, it's for a wedding, it's $1,000. Let me see, yeah, I can do that. And you go into your repertoire list and you have written down every single song you have ever sung about anything, any single song you have written. And you have written by the name of the title of the song, when you wrote it, when you last performed it. Or if it's not a song that you wrote, maybe it's a song written by someone else. And obviously, if you haven't written it, yes, this is hard to do without my audience, I have to tell you, and thank you for being patient. So you would write down when you sang this song, when you name the song, obviously, when you first learned it, when you last performed it. So of course that's having to be updated all the time. And that's a very tedious job to do, but you will love it, because when that gig comes in for $1,000 and you're thinking, what songs do I know? Oh, this person wants to know now on the phone. You can just go to, just say, oh, hang on a minute, I think so. Let me just check my repertoire list. You can go onto your repertoire list. And then, of course, if you have written it in your binder handwritten, you don't have to wait for your computer to boot up if it is not on already. And you can just go to the tab that says repertoire. You look inside, you say, yeah, I'm on it, I can do that, absolutely, thanks for thinking of me, and yes, what are the details? So repertoire, really, really important. Okay, so then do you know what, I am just going to read these out to you, I don't know if you can see them, you see. So the next tab, I'm just going to read out the tabs. Single or EP or album, that's one tab. Radio stations, radio trackers, music supervisors, music licensing, SOCAN, ASCAP, competitions and contests. This is the first page. So it does go on and on and on. And I actually will put these online for you so you don't have to take notes like you would if we were live. So, all the information that you need from lawyers, which is the last one, and tax, which is the penultimate one, because you need to be responsible for your own tax as a self-employed musician, to everything from booking agents, management, when is the right time for management, all that kind of thing. So, for example, if you had the tab record labels, what you would do is you would go and research every single record label that is pertinent to you and your genre, which you now are very clear on because you did me at the very, very beginning. And you write down every single record label. If you live in Canada, you're going to write down every single record label in Canada that deals with your genre, starting with the top ones all the way down to the indie and boutique labels. Boutique and indie labels are really, really awesome places. And I mean, if you think of Taylor Swift, she's only just not with her indie label. Yeah, don't discard anyone or anything on your research. Only when you start talking to them are you going to discard them or fall in love with them, and vice versa, as in they will discard you or fall in love with you. Okay, so actually I've noticed I do laugh at my own jokes anyway, so that's great. So, yes, another thing on here, one more I'm going to mention, is gigs. So you need to be gigging, not necessarily. I do know someone who was signed after 3 gigs only, but they were still gigging, I suppose you could just say they were still gigging. Okay, so gigs, your local venues, where you live. Let's take your own home city. Say your home city is, you're lucky enough to be New York. Excellent. You're going to research every single music venue in your city, starting with where you live. So if you are lucky enough to live in Greenwich Village, that's excellent. You know what to do. And it's going to be quite a vast thing you're doing, because actually there are a lot of music venues in your cities, hopefully. And so what I would suggest you do, I would recommend you go, even with a friend, for nights out in your town, and you go to different venues. Try not to have an alcoholic beverage in every single venue you go to. Okay, so, and then you take photos, if they'll let you, of the venues, and write down, take notes, like in your phone you would say, the kit is awesome, the stage is tiny, or the stage is massive, or the kit is really bad, the backline is non-existent, backline being what they provide, you know, whatever it is, or the guy who runs it is so kind, so nice, wants me to send him his music, or the sound engineer is really up there in bottom and it's going to be a nightmare. Whatever it is, write it down. Then you're going to put it in the binder, when you were there, what date, put the date that you went, and the names and the contacts of the people there. So therefore, if in a year's time you go back and you say, well, yeah, I was there a year ago, the people who you contact may or may not be the same people. That's why putting the date in is very important. Okay, I've actually bored myself with B, which was the binder. So I'm moving on. We have done A, music. We have done B, binder. We are doing C. So, as I said at the beginning, C, A, B and A must all work together. You can't do one without another. Oh, I remember why I was holding it now. You can't do one without another. You can't do 2 without 3. I am sorry to say, you have to do all 3, and they have to all work together. And when they all work together, that's when magic happens, and that's when your dreams come true. I cannot guarantee to what level they come true, by the way, disclaimer, but I can guarantee you will be doing music at some level, and that I can guarantee. So, what makes singing different from any other discipline? And I ask you this question, and of course you cannot tell me this today, but I will give you some answers. 1, you cannot see a voice. You can only hear it and watch the performer performing. And this makes singing extremely magical. And I mean, I know I'm biased, but I think it makes the singer in the band the most, the focal point. So often the main lead vocalist in the band or performer does play another instrument, and often they don't. But your voice is your instrument, so you cannot leave it. You can't move away from it. If you don't like your own voice, you're going to have to either not sing, learn to love the fact that you hate your own voice, or learn to love your voice. Any of those, yes. So your voice is who you are. It is indivisible from who you are. Therefore, what you think about your voice will have a direct effect on you and on how you have your career, how you live your career, because it's coming from your mind, which is another thing that is indivisible from who you are, and they are obviously linked because they're in your body. And one more thing I can think of actually, straight off the bat, is that I don't know of any other instrument that has words. And so you have words, you have lyrics, you can communicate with an audience directly, and yes, but the main thing is your voice is who you are. And the other thing is, there's one other musical discipline very similar to singing, and that is writing, because you cannot see the writing, it's coming out. Obviously you can see it on a page, but you can't see the writing. So if you combine songwriting and singing, you've got singer-songwriting, it's a double, oh, it's just who I am moment. There is nothing between your audience and yourself of your expression, so it is direct, and therefore it is so linked to your mind. Now, this is part C, I'm moving into the mind. There are 3 parts within this last section, and each of these 3 parts also needs to be done. Now, the good news is, being a musician, you will have discipline. And discipline is something you will need to have in abundance for C. So, the 3 main things that you need to do are Transcendental Meditation, or any form of meditation that you choose. I would recommend Transcendental Meditation, definitely, and I would recommend you go and listen to Bob Roth online, Bob and Roth, R-O-T-H, on his short talk on what exactly Transcendental Meditation is, because he will explain it far better than me, and you will have it straight from the expert. And that's number 1, so meditation. Number 2 is visualization. And you'll say to me, oh, why do I have to do visualization? No, you don't have to do any of this. But you're sitting there again for a reason, so I would recommend you do visualization. And I will take before I do that, I'll say the third thing, a personal mantra. And I have designed a mantra for you, a template, and you're going to put whatever is into that template that you need to work on. So those are the 3 things: meditation, visualization, and your personalized mantra. So yes, we'll talk meditation. I'm just going to read here from this list people, musicians actually, who meditate. Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney, or should I say Sir Paul McCartney, Childish Gambino, Justin Bieber, Demi Lovato, Madonna, and Ariana Grande, to name but a few. And there's a film that I would love you to watch if you haven't seen it already. It's called The Man Who Knew Infinity, and actually he was a self-taught mathematician, and he was a genius. It's not. It is a movie, but it's just like a story. It's a real, based on true life stories, which are my favourite movies or films. The Man Who Knew Infinity is about this man, self-taught man, genius mathematician who is actually equally as good as Einstein, but I hate to say this, ladies and gentlemen, please forgive me, this gentleman was not white, he was Indian, and I think that probably has a reason why we haven't heard of him as we should have done. But you watch that film and you'll know who he is, and when you watch it, you're going to note how important his mental thoughts were just before he achieved mind-blowing things to do with maths and those kinds of mathematical things, which I'm not a mathematician and I don't understand. But anyway, that's another person I would like you to think about. And also Bianca Andreescu, Canadian tennis player, since the age of 12, she was doing visualizations for several hours a day. Yes, several hours a day. Lady Gaga has done visualization. She visualized herself as Lady Gaga before she even became Lady Gaga, and then she became Lady Gaga. So Ellen DeGeneres, she was had an amazing career as an actress, and then she came out and she was dropped. The whole series she was doing was cut, which is disgraceful, but there you go. But look at her now. She visualized that talk show and now she has it, and we love her for that. And of course the famous Jim Carrey story of writing himself the check and then getting the movies and becoming Jim Carrey as we know him. And yes, that's what I was talking about there. Okay, sorry, I'm doing my own head in here, and I'm really hoping I'm not doing yours in. Visualization. We're nearly done, by the way. We're nearly there. So I would like you to do visualization every day. And you can change this up every week to a different visualization if you like, around the same topic or subject, which will be you and your success in the music industry. For example, start imagining yourself on stage. Imagine that stage. Imagine how many people are watching you. Could be an intimate gathering full of extremely important record industry people, labels, managers, promoters. It could be in a stadium. Whatever you want it to be. You could be opening for somebody extremely well known, and you're up there opening for them and it's amazing. Or you could be headlining, but you're going to imagine that stage. Imagine how you feel just before with your team. Imagine going out, hearing that sound of the crowd. Be as creative and as much detail as possible. Much as I would say to you if you're writing a song. Detail, detail, detail. We want that detail in your mind. What it feels like, what the atmosphere is like, what the smells are like. Okay, maybe you're at the Junos or the Grammys or the Brit Awards or any other awards, whichever country you're in, and you're sitting at the table, you know, the cameras are panning around and you're like, the names are read out from your category, and then all of a sudden it's your name's being read out and your mind has gone blank because you, even though you visualized it, you never truly deeply down believed that you actually could win one, but you've done that visualization. And we'll talk about truly deep down believing at another point. Maybe you're running down the street away from your fans, and it's like, oh, and it's exciting, but at the same time you're a bit freaked. And you've got the wrong shoes on, maybe. Okay, maybe you're sitting in a famous recording studio with the director of your dreams, the producer of your dreams. Your team is behind the screen, watching you, your manager, your booking agent, your publicist, your publisher maybe is even in the room, listening to this new song. It's exciting. What are you wearing? What are you thinking? What are you singing? How long have you dreamt of this moment? What does it feel like now? Or, you know, really visualize that. And I don't mean visualize it for 5 minutes. Go into it. Go as deeply into it as you can every single day. And if that takes half an hour, it takes half an hour, and it should take, I would allow an hour. That's what I do. So, yeah, visualizations. You could call it affirmations if you want. Visualizations, affirmations, but an hour a day. make things happen for you. I have a quote from Drake. I always talk to the big man upstairs every night. Every night! Discipline. Well, I have a quote from Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga says there is a discipline for passion. Oh, that's it. There is a discipline for passion. And it is. There is a discipline for passion. If you want it badly enough, you'll do this. Okay, nearly there. The last thing of this section is, and this is the last section of all three, is the mantra. So, a mantra is something you say over and over again. Whether you, can you hear my dog snoring? Yeah, a mantra is something you say over and over again. Whether you say it all day, every day, as often as possible, or whether you just say it at the time that you're doing your mental work, your meditation, and your visualizations and affirmations, I completely leave that up to you. What the mantra is to improve where you are right now, or to get you to achieve something this week, today, whatever it is. And the more times, the more intense your mantra, the more I believe that it will be a faster appearance. So, I do apologise for my wispy hair, by the way, but as you know, it's COVID-19 and the hairdressers are all closed. There are more important things in life. Okay, so here is your mantra template. You are going to take 3 slow abdominal breaths, as if you were to sing something. Well, you'd only take 1 if you were going to sing something. Anyway, this time you're going to take 3, and they're going to be slow. And as you're breathing, you're going to smile, and you're going to feel really silly. But it works. It works. And if I don't feel like I'm exhausting you too much, I will give you a little story about how it works and how I know it works. Okay. And you're going to say, there are 10 things you do. That's number 1. But I'm not going to list them 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to go through them. So, take your 3 slow breaths. And then say, I'm so happy to be doing music every day. And then you take another slow breath, smiling, of course. And this is, you're going to put whatever you want in this particular bit here, but I have put, I am seeing myself talking to industry people with confidence and ease and enjoying myself. So this is maybe pre a symposium or some kind of music festival gathering. And I got to talk to industry people and I'm freaked. So this is my template that I would say 2 weeks before going to the event. So I'm seeing myself talking to industry people with confidence and ease, and I'm enjoying myself. Even if you don't believe it, you're going to smile and you're going to say that. The industry people are talking to me and I am making some excellent contacts. Okay, next one, I'm taking a slow, big abdominal breath, and of course I'm smiling. Next one, I can feel my confidence growing every time I talk to these people. Next one, talking to new people and meeting interesting industry representatives brings me closer to my goals. And then you're going to take another 3 deep breaths, smiling. So, those are your 10, by the way. So, practice all 3 things daily. So the Transcendental Meditation is 20 minutes twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. Not at night, because it's not a meditation to help you sleep. Transcendental might keep you awake if you do it then. Visualizations and affirmations as often as possible. So I would do it every day for an hour. And then throughout the day when things creep in, like self-doubt, no, I am strong. Yes. Okay, wasn't there a movie where some guy said, I am a lion or a tiger or something, like from the 60s? Not that I would know, of course. I was only a baby in the 60s. Okay, personal mantra. You are going to say that 10 minutes a day, every day. So you're not going to rush in 1, 2, I am so happy to do music every day. 3, 4, I'm introducing. No, that is not going to work for you. I'm not saying you have to do it in slow motion, but I'm saying do it with feeling and do it with intent, and try not to rush it. I know, I'm asking a lot from you. I'm asking for 1 hour and 40 minutes, and your mantra, which will be 10 minutes. So that's 1 hour and 50, so let's say 2 hours a day on your mental work. 2 hours a day on your mental work. I don't know what to say to you other than read about successful people who do it. Find the motivation. If the motivation to do 2 hours a day, if the motivation to do that is not to be working in a job that you hate, that you're having to do now to pay your bills because you can't make enough money from doing your music, maybe that's the motivation you need. Don't hate me. Oh, here's your chance to go and rule the world. And of course, whenever I hear that, I think of Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world. And a funny story about that is that Rona Dorsabel, the lead singer, used to, his girlfriend, who became his wife, who sadly just passed away, I'm so sorry about that. She used to live 2 doors down the road from me, where I used to live when I was growing up. So, I was going to tell you a little quick story about how the mantras work. So I had a gig, and I'd been waiting for 15 years to get this gig to work for a company in the UK. And it was one of my goals, you know, where you put 5-year goals. Well, this obviously was a 15-year goal, but I didn't know that at the time. I thought I was going to get there a little quicker. But anyway, I got there, 15 years. So I got the job. I was prepared. I knew all my music. I knew all my cues, all everybody else's music, everything. I was perfectly prepared, and I got there. And I met famous people after famous people in the room, and I was completely overwhelmed and full of self-doubt. And I started to go downhill. And I really, every rehearsal was getting worse and worse, and it was actually getting embarrassing. I thought I was going to be fired. And I thought, I don't know what to do, or I don't know who to do. Everyone was saying, well, you'll be fine. All my friends, don't worry, you're so amazing. Of course you got the job. You got the job because, well, you got the job because you deserve it. So go with that. But it wasn't helping me. Nothing was helping me. So I sat down and I wrote down, I phoned a friend actually who lived in Germany, and I said, oh, how are you? And because I wanted to know, you know, how he dealt with working in a big theatre and a big job every day, and how he was just so confident, and how he'd done that. And he said, oh, yeah, the beast is on fire last night. That was his answer to my question of how are you? And I realised he'd put his voice in the third person. So I thought, I've got to distance myself from this. So I wrote down a mantra. And I started with, I'm going to smile, I'm happy to be doing this job, I am so blessed. And I wrote down, I'm confident, more and more confident every day, I'm really lifting my game, and I'm so excited to be doing music, and smile, smile, smile. And at the end of the week, that was a Wednesday, so 2 days later, the Friday, people were coming up to me and saying, wow, you're so different than how you were just even a few days ago. Have you taken some drugs? I was like, yes, plenty of them. No. So, do your mantra. Do your visualization, affirmations. Do your meditation. Start your binder. Please don't think that binder of all those different things that I've listed has to be done in a day or a week. It's not an assignment. It's a lifelong journey of information you're putting in that binder. But you need to be starting to do it now, so that it's working alongside with your mental work. And of course your music, every day you're practicing your music, and you're working hard on your music and making that the focus that it needs to be, I wouldn't say the main focus, because it isn't the main focus. Is there a main focus? Yeah, I would say the main focus is C, the mind. But it has to work with the binder and with your music. It can't be. And being your music, like I said, being the singer-songwriter that you are, so linked in with the mind, so there isn't a piano in between, there isn't a guitar in between you. It's so linked to your mind. Think of a sprinter. They have coaches for their mind. Athletes do. Do we have them as musicians? Do we have those? That's normally your manager who's doing that, if you're at a level to have a manager. Anyway, I'm going to leave you in peace. I thank you for watching this 45-minute long monologue, is all I can call it. Although you did have Azzy with you, my boo VA, and one day I'll show you him singing. He's a fine singer, and I wish you all the best. Go out, make your dreams come true, and thank you for watching me. Bye-bye.